All right, good morning. Welcome to the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update. I'm Jason DeRusha. Oh, is it cold out there? Holy moly, so cold, and it's causing an absolute disaster on the roads today. Let's give you the weather forecast first. It is cold right now, 2 below. It's going to stay cold all day. It's really not warming up at all. And this evening, look at that, 8 below. Wind chill advisory in effect, because we're talking about very seriously cold temperatures. And those cold temperatures this morning are having sort of a predictable impact on the roads. We can give you a live look at downtown Minneapolis. Kind of slow go here, but almost everywhere else. We've got spinouts and crashes. Here's 169 Medicine Lake Road. Look at the backup here as people kind of headed into the Twin Cities. This is a spinout. I mean, just everywhere as I pop through different traffic cameras. Yeah, this is what the roads look like, right? Brutal. Yeah, that black ice in some spots is just straight up legit ice. So no matter where you look, it is rough. Let me give you a live look at 7:35 this morning at our map in, oh goodness, it's just Crash City, right? No matter where you look, certainly in the metro it's bad, but if I zoom out, yep, up in North Branch, St. Michael, seems like it's mostly metro focused. Heavy traffic having an impact as there is black ice on the road. So just take it slow, be careful. It's going to be cold all day and all night. So you really need to just expect this to be your reality. Things will be cold for the next couple of days. Riley tells us Saturday will be nice, but otherwise we're in the single digits or below zero. Quite a bit over the next 7 days. Let's talk about this. Mask mandates returning today to Minnesota's 2 largest cities, St. Paul and Minneapolis, reinstating their mask mandate policy. You know, we are in the middle of this Omicron surge, many cases of COVID-19. And so the cities decided, well, there's only so much we can do, so we're bringing back the mask mandates. 5 o'clock this evening. And that does mean if you go to Sunday's Vikings game or the Wild game this weekend, you will need to mask up. There are exemptions for athletes. There are exemptions for performers. So if you're going to the theater, eating and drinking, of course, you can take the mask down. And there are some other health-related accommodations. You know, over the last couple of weeks, you might have noticed more of a focus on the type of mask we need. Many experts saying what, frankly, a lot of us have wondered about the whole time when it comes to the efficacy of these masks. Cloth masks give you about 20 minutes of protection. Surgical masks, 30 minutes. So those, you know, a cloth mask, better than nothing. A surgical mask, better than that. KN95, better than that. And then N95, the best. So we're asking where you're at on this. Have you thought about upgrading your masks? Are you still wearing the mask that your Aunt Matilda made for you at the beginning of the pandemic? Leave a comment on Facebook. We'll share through some of those in a moment. But I've upgraded my mask. We went out and got KN95 masks. So they're actually pretty comfortable, too. So I found these at the Costco Business Center, and you can find them. There's a N95 Project is a website that kind of vets these to make sure you're getting a legit approved kind of N95 or KN95 mask. More COVID news. The CDC has expanded eligibility for Pfizer's COVID-19 booster shot. So now all Americans 12 and older can get a booster at least 5 months after they've been vaccinated. That does mean roughly 5 million kids can be further protected. According to the CDC, the 7-day average of daily cases nearly doubled from the previous weeks. What a mess in Chicago. 350,000 students in the public schools there will be out of class again today because the school leadership and the union, they're in a fight about COVID-19 safety protocols.
The safest place for kids to be in the pandemic is in person in our schools. That has not changed.
Today in Washington, D.C., where the infection rate is among the highest in the nation, students and staff will return to the classroom, but they have to bring proof of a negative COVID test. Some more bad news for the travel industry. 2 major cruise lines are saying, nope, we're going to cancel it. Royal Caribbean and Norwegian cruise lines canceling some voyages around the world because of the surging Omicron cases. Norwegian saying some cruises will be pushed back as far as April. The company saying passengers will receive full refunds and bonus credits for future trips. It's a tough situation all the way around. Obviously, people who are vaccinated, I'm proof of this as someone who was vaccinated and boosted. I did test positive for COVID and have to deal with that over Christmas break. So being vaccinated and boosted, certainly all the evidence is it lessens your symptoms. But right now, as we're seeing all of these cases, it doesn't necessarily give you protection from being infected. 2 Hennepin County commissioners are calling on Hennepin County Sheriff Dave Hutchinson to resign. It's sort of been radio silence from most of the elected officials, but that changed yesterday. In a letter to the sheriff, Commissioner Irene Fernando wrote that the sheriff operated a county-owned motor vehicle. The blood alcohol level of 0.13, carried a firearm with a blood alcohol level 225% greater than the legal firearm limit, totaled a county-owned vehicle, endangered the public. Commissioner also wrote that she was appalled at his response to this question from WCCO reporter Jen Mayerly last month.
Can I ask, before this crash, had you driven drunk before?
You know, I think everybody has at one point.
Yeah, I mean, what a statement. Everybody has? This from the top law enforcement officer in the county. Hennepin County Commissioner Jeffrey Lundy added on and supported Commissioner Fernando, said he agreed, also asked the sheriff to resign. Hutchinson pleaded guilty to DWI, told Jennifer Mayerly last month that he was not going to resign. Okay, look what Bloomington Fire recruits did last night. They went swimming in Bush Lake to train on cold water ice rescue scenarios. Bloomington Fire tweeted out this photo. They said the lake water was warm compared to the air temperature, which was near zero, wind chill -20. When they cut the ice out of the lake the day before, they said it was about 10 to 12 inches thick. Good training for ice rescues there. An example this morning on how dangerous these bitter cold temperatures can be. We were worried about this at the Winter Classic last weekend, and a Minnesota teenager did suffer frostbite. 18-year-old Lamon Sewell was one of the members of Vocal Essence. Boy, they did a beautiful job singing the national anthem before the hockey game at Target Field. He got separated from the group, he says, as they were leaving, and so he went outside one of the gates to call his friends, took off his gloves to make that phone call.
And I could just feel my hands getting colder and colder. And then at one point, I just felt heat in my hand. My entire hand was red.
Sewell estimates that his gloves were only off for about 8 minutes. His mother was a little upset at the twins that he wasn't immediately allowed back in. Why was he kept outside when he was in a frostbite potential situation? She does say the twins apologized for what happened, and we reached out to the organization too, and they said they're working with the family to remedy the situation. If you ever start to feel those symptoms in your hands, might be that burning sensation just like you heard him talk about, or a redness in your hands, doctors say you should run your hands under warm water. Don't put it under hot water. Even you might think that's the right thing to do, but just go for warm water. Hey, somebody in Wisconsin is loaded this morning, and not in the way that people in Wisconsin typically get loaded. We're talking cash money. Was that a Wisconsin shot? You bet it was. Somebody won the Powerball from Scotty. Yes. 2 tickets, 2 winning tickets sold, one in California and Sacramento at the 7-Eleven. That's pretty sweet. And then somebody in Wisconsin, could have been a Minnesotan who went across the border. Could be one of our friends who live in Hudson or River Falls, or New Richmond. It'd be so good. Let's hope it's not one of those Green Bay residents or Milwaukee people, right? This is the 7th biggest jackpot in Powerball history. So let's listen to some of the people at the 7-Eleven in Sacramento.
Really? Oh man, if I would have known that, I would have played it from here. Darn.
What do you think of more than $300 million?
Whew, what I could do with that money.
So was it you?
Darn it, no. Maybe next time.
All right, in Wisconsin, we don't know where they sold the winning ticket or who purchased it. We did learn that when it comes to Powerball winnings, Wisconsin is a lucky state. This is at least the 19th winner for the state since this game started in 1992. Of course, Wisconsin's been part of the Powerball for a long time. When I used to live in Rockford, Illinois, or Milwaukee, you always were doing news stories about people crossing the border into Wisconsin to go get those tickets. All right, let's talk about upgrading your mask? Are you stepping it up? Have you changed what you're wearing? Tamara says we have some N95 masks left from when we traveled last October, so we'll use them, but I wish there was more attention to proper disposal. Boy, I agree with that. There's so much litter. It is a lot of waste that's been generated from this. Obviously, we have to keep people safe, but you got to worry about that litter. Todd says my wife and I have been wearing N95s for months. They're awesome at blocking aerosols. Can't even smell smoke from a fire. Thanks, Todd. I wish they were cheaper. Simon's still wearing the surgical mask. Simon works in the hotel industry. Yeah, when you have an N95, it is tough for guests to hear you. Surgical mask is good. Better than the cloth mask. I always thought the cloth ones were better. I don't know why, but surgical ones they're saying are definitely better. Becca's been using those surgical. She might need to upgrade to an N95. Yep. Got tired of washing the cloth ones. Bradley still wears the cloth ones. Also have some N95s on standby. Double masking, good idea, where there are a lot of people or possible high transmission. And Bradley's in favor of the mask mandate. Thanks, Bradley. Here is Cindy, already have the K95s, been wearing KN95s rather. I get it mixed up with KS95, which today's best hits. 90s and today. Eileen wears a cloth mask that you can add filters to. All right, thanks, Eileen. And Leah's been doubling up on the mask. Yep, a lot of you guys kind of stepping up the efforts. Like to hear it. So good luck to everybody. You know, I mean, all you can do is do your best and then still try to live your life. That's sort of the best way to go as far as I can tell. Thanks for hanging out with us. Morning update, CBSN Minnesota. We'll keep you up to date all day long on the frigid cold temperatures. Keep it here on the Twin Cities only 24-hour streaming local news source, CBSN Minnesota.